Today I want to talk to you about the SAMR model. This model was created by Ruben Pentendura, and it's really built to help teachers figure out what levels of technology they are using in their classroom. So if we look at the SAMR model here, we can see that S stands for substitution, A, augmentation, M, modification, and R, redefinition. And the idea is for us to look at our lessons and think about the ways that we are actually using technology. So before we look at it through our lessons, let's look at it through a different lens. So here we have a guy, and he is wondering what's in the ocean. So without any technology, he stands, on the shore, and he can only see, over top of the ocean. He cannot see what's underneath. So he can use a tool to substitute him standing on the shore. So in this case, he has his, canoe, and this substitution acts as a direct tool, but has no functional change. So yes, it's a tool, it gets him out into the ocean, but he still cannot see what's underneath. So then we give him another tool, and this would be the level of augmentation. So here he has the snorkeling gear, and now he is able to go under the water, but he still can't go very far because, obviously the snorkel has to still have air. So he can see under the water, definitely improved function of what he's trying to do, but it still could be better. So then we think about, okay, let's trade the snorkeling gear for scuba diving gear. So now this becomes a modification. With this change, the technology or the tool allows for significant task redesign. So now he can explore the ocean in a way that many of the animals can. The fish can go all over underneath the water. He can get down on their level. He can go see the ocean floor. And so this is a really change in what he is able to do. So then the last level is redefinition. And in this case, he is now using a submarine. So this allows for the creation of new tasks that were previously inconceivable. So if we think about the scuba gear, yes, that's wonderful. He can, go all over, but there are parts of the ocean and stuff where he is not able to go, or he's still limited to the amount of oxygen in his tank. Where if he is in the submarine, he now has even more, he can see even more parts of the ocean than he would have been able to do otherwise. So if you think about this, we have technology as an enhancement, which is what we often, that's kind of like that first level of what we usually use technology for in our classrooms. And then there's the levels of transformation. And this is where we really want to think about, if we are using technology in our lesson, are we transforming their learning, transforming the lesson, or are we just enhancing it? Here's an example that has a lot of different apps and ideas for exactly what you can do with technology in your lessons. So if we look, we can see that on the outside of this model, we have substitution, then it goes to augmentation, modification, and redefinition. And then the first part here are all different apps that you can use. The next are activities. Then here we have action verbs of what you can ask the kids to do. Then we have how it relates to blooms. And then in the middle here, we talk about attributes and capabilities. So with this model, let's look at an example here. And if we were having them substitute technology, we might have them just doing a Google search instead of looking something up in the dictionary or encyclopedia. For activities here, we might have them bullet point their notes on a Word document instead of writing them out with paper. Then if we moved into the augmentation category, we can see that here are some different apps that they could use. Here's one called Mind Mash. You might have them doing some summarizing, which obviously is leading into higher Bloom's levels and higher, just letting them understand a little bit more better and applying their knowledge. And then We could even have them doing some surveys, doing some compare and contrast activities where these apps would serve as the tool. So when you think about your lessons and how you're using technology, the goal is not to always make it to the redefinition category, but the goal is to look at how you're using technology and make sure that you're not always just using it as a substitute. Think about how you might enhance or even transform your lessons and their learning by changing things up just a little bit. So with this tool, just think about your own lesson planning, think about your own lessons, and start doing some searches on what you could do to enhance their learning.